The Out of Bounds Show podcast is powered by the DeWalt tools at Ace Bolt and Screw. Visit acebolt.net for a location near you.
And we're back. Good morning. Welcome in. Hail State 6, Virginia 5 last night. MSU advances in the College World Series. Good morning. Welcome in to the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We're going to have Ben McDonald join us in the next 45 minutes to an hour. He's kind of the face of the SEC. He's out in Omaha, Nebraska. Obviously, legendary pitcher for first pick. Ben McDonald out of LSU. He'll join us a little bit later in the show on the Modelo guest line, efforting a couple other guys and just trying to read exactly where we're going to drop everybody after a little bit of a late evening. The SEC Insider Hit this morning is brought to you by Ace Bolt and Screw. We're live from the downtown location that's been here for over 50 years. Their second location, Tupelo, then Atlanta, and then, of course, Gluckstadt last year. And they will be opening a new location in 2022 on Highway 49 South, right there in the Richland area. Thank you, Kayla. And so Ace Bolt and Screw will add a fifth shop store location in 2022. Love to see Mississippi companies growing. If you notice, we have a lot of those on our show. There's a reason. And we got the best of the best and a who's who as far as our partners on the show. We are live from Ace Bolt and Screw. Visit acebolt.net. Real quick, Blake, before we jump back in, today is the last day to register for this unbelievable Honda Foreman 500 four-wheeler. Spend $500 on DeWalt tools and accessories, and that's how you get entered to win. They will pick a winner today. It is a brand-new Honda Foreman 500 four-wheeler. And that, by the way, that's Jackson and Gluckstadt locations only, not Atlanta. Obviously, we have a huge Atlanta listenership online. It kind of goes back and forth between Memphis and Atlanta as far as the biggest market outside the state. But it is only Jackson and Gluckstadt locations to enter, to register, to possibly win a brand new Honda Foreman 500 four-wheeler. Blake Mania with me. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Would love to hear from you on the Mississippi Ag John Deere Tractor text line, 601-885-3776. Blake, more theatrics, more heroics. We're about to drop some audio here of a combination of Tanner Allen talking about the game and getting pitched to, and Brian O'Connor, who is an excellent baseball coach, by the way, the head baseball coach for the Virginia Cavaliers. He's a national championship baseball coach, right, too. But and O'Connor will be talking about why he pitched to TA. This is some audio post-game after Mississippi State's epic win over Virginia last night.
I was standing in the dugout and I was telling Goat I'm going to face shock. I know I will. Because the guy they brought in before was didn't have his greatest stuff, but I saw him down there warming up, and I said, that's the guy I'm going to face right there. And then right when I saw, Rowdy get the double, that's when I first got to my mind. They got a base open. Probably not going to get much to hit, but I'm definitely going to look for a ball up in the zone.
I'm telling Steven when he comes in the ball game, he's got to make pitches down in the zone. You're looking for a ground ball. Obviously, he's a tremendous player, right? The kind of player that you could sit there and say you don't want him to beat you. Right, but you also don't want to walk him because he's his run takes the lead. So you want to make him earn it. And to his credit, He did. He put a great swing on the ball. We didn't execute, and he made us pay for it, and that's what great players do.
Man, my first emotion was, going to the plate. I kind of prayed. I said, Lord, I know this is a big moment, and I just told him, I want you to know if I succeed or not, I still thankful for the ability you've given me and the opportunity you've given me to be in this moment. And then, secondly, I knew they were going to throw it to me. I had a rough night before that, but I have written on my glove in the outfield, and it don't matter. And my first 3 at-bats, those were behind me, and I knew I had another at-bat or 2 to make a difference in the game.
We pulled together that inning, and we talked about, because the older kids knew, it felt very similar to the Auburn game in 19, where Auburn had beat us all day long, and we got something going late, so we just challenged them and to keep playing, stay resilient, and the things that we preach all year and the things that this club is. I mean, we have won so many late games just because we won't stop playing and won't stop fighting. So, an unbelievable job by the guys.
So that was some audio from Tanner Allen, Brian O'Connor, head baseball coach at Virginia, and Chris Lemonis there at the end, talking about the moment and setting the stage for you last night for the Tanner Allen, Kellum Clark, among others, the heroics and the theatrics on the biggest stage in college baseball in Omaha, Nebraska. Good audio, by the way. Great job to Blake and Will there to get that rolling out here on the SEC Insider Hit on the Out of Bounds show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Blake, I love that. It don't matter.
Nope.
So I think we could all write that down.
Yeah.
And kind of live by that day to day as certain things pop up and you get smacked in the face, whether it's little things or big things. Of course, a lot of times we make little things big things, but it don't matter. You have to have that mentality. It's like Tanner Allen is kind of like Jake Mangum, but his DNA and his mental makeup is about as good as it gets for baseball.
Correct.
As cruel as the game is to you, and as hard as it is, and as challenging as it is, and the fact that if you hit 300, you're a dude, much less whatever Tanner's been hitting most of the year, 380, 390. And to do that against elite pitching on Fridays and Saturdays, and of course he's done it in the regionals and so on, but it don't matter. So to be 0 for 7 and not be fazed by the moment, and to have already played in 2 College World Series in 18 and 19, and I guess to be able to see what or how Jake Mangum approached both success and failure, and Tanner Allen just we talk about it, dude qualities. Some people got it, some people don't, and he does. And not only does he look like a country music singer from 2010, and I mean he looks like a guy who could rock, okay, on Orange Beach, right, or that Gulf Shores Festival.
Yeah,
Floribama.
He's a Floribama regular. Yeah,
no doubt. Yeah,
doubt.
all right. Well, let's go to Floribama. We'll even go towards Florida. All right, we'll go to the Floribama line, no doubt. I mean, he looks like a guy tonight that could jump on stage at Floribama with 1,000 crazies loaded up on Miller Lite and Coors Light and sunburned, and sing and dance and entertain and have a bunch of women, flocking to the stage, and he's just in there, grinning and playing a guitar and singing. And of course, Chipper Jones would be his lead guitarist and also on vocals too. For our listeners who don't know this and don't swim on Twitter, which if you haven't gone there, don't. I mean, good hell, it's a cesspool. But anyway, but there are some people that have fun with it, and Chipper Jones does. And Chipper Jones is what we call kind of the legendary player from the Sun Belt.
Yeah.
The last 30 to 40 years. And of course, he's a World Series champion and an MVP and a Hall of Famer and a switch hitter and a dude. And he's from Georgia, and he looks like he doesn't really look like Tanner Allen's dad. He looks like his older brother.
They look like twins. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It is eerie
Yeah.
how much they look alike.
They look like two guys that could be sitting on the back of a tailgate in the Mississippi Delta after going duck hunting in the morning, and they're either sharing a Bloody Mary or a cold Coors Light and talking about the birds that they shot down.
Yep.
And so, and they do look like two guys that would be in a country music band and would be playing throughout the Southeast, whether it's the Brandon Amphitheater or, as Blake mentioned, I think he nailed it, the Floribama. And so Chipper will tweet at and retweet big things that Tanner Allen does.
God, that's got to be so cool. Can you imagine as a kid? Because he grew up.
No.
Tanner talks about the reason he wears number 5 is because he wants to be half the player Chipper Jones is, which is an eerily that is such a self-aware statement from an 18-year-old who's coming into college to to have that type of thought process to understand that's incredible in and of itself. But then to style his game after him and then look up to him his entire life, and then because someone on Twitter was like, hey, y'all kind of look alike. Chipper, you should take notice of this guy. Now Chipper, they have each other's phone number. That's incredible.
Yeah, so he texts. They have a text thing going. They've cultivated a friendship, a relationship, right? And I think you just nailed it. Even though Tanner is a college baseball star and the face of the Mississippi State baseball program right now, and the SEC Player of the Year, and he'll get drafted, and he's got a chance to make some money, and obviously we'll see if he makes it in Major League Baseball. But he already has a storybook career with 3 College World Series appearances, and he's had some big moments on big stages for Hail State baseball. But you throw in the fact that people connected Chipper Jones and Tanner Allen, it's unbelievable. And now they have a relationship and they have each other's number. And Chipper's getting all into this and following TA throughout his senior season. And look, let's just call it. Tanner Allen, if not for COVID, Tanner Allen's not wearing the maroon and white.
Facts.
The Out of Bounds Show podcast is brought to you by Boar's Head, premium meats, cheeses, and hummus. Boar's Head, compromise elsewhere. I mean,
100%.
You're as a Mississippi State fan or a baseball fan, you're living, you're riding this wave. Tanner Allen and, of course, Rowdy Jordan, and there's others across the country, right? But they would not be on the team and these other teams, other players, if not for COVID. So Tanner Allen comes back for a 4th year, which is unheard of, because Jake Mangum's an outlier. I mean, he's an anomaly. And TA to literally stamp and write in a Sharpie his name in the record books and kind of the story of Mississippi State baseball, which is extremely difficult to do when you're talking about Showalter and Castoria and Raffy and Will and Hunter Renfro and Jake Mangum and some others, many others. For him to do that is nothing short of remarkable. And, they've scuffled along at times at the plate this year, I think for a multitude of reasons, a combination of things and so many new guys and so on. And I think the question was asked going into last night's game was, could Tanner go over and you win? Well, I think you got your answer. He was 0 for 3, but he hits an absolute bomb to seal it for you, so to speak. And I still cannot believe that right-handed, pitcher hung a slider. But then again, my career ended once breaking balls became. I thought I was good, and then you make a bunch of all-star teams growing up, and you think you're good, and then you realize, damn, I'm not any good.
Yeah, right.
Anyway,
yeah. I'm not what I thought I was.
I'm
can
not even.
Can I point this out too, though, Bo, and get your thoughts on this, because I think this is an important piece of the puzzle that, as sports fans, we get. Again, we talk about all this all the time, right? So you have driven back to this awesome Ace Bolt and Screw thing, and you have to do all these different things. But yesterday you were doing the show on remote from a parking lot. That's not the glamorous lifestyle that you think about. We talk about the way John Elway was making waffles in a Radisson in Hoover, Alabama, watching high school kids play football, right? So all kinds of different crazy things. How about the fact that Tanner Allen talked about the awareness of knowing who's in the bullpen, realizing that after Rowdy's hit, there was no way they were leaving this guy in to face him, that he was going to get Shock, the notorious Kenny Powers style reliever that Virginia has and that became famous over the last couple weeks. And he knows exactly what he's going to throw, watches a slider outside, and then sits slider, and as soon as it comes in, he's ready. Like that type of preparation on a short day, because you only knew about Virginia for a couple days, right?
Right.
Like that type of preparation is the player that's why Tanner Allen was able to ride the highs and lows of the season with this team and get them to where they are, because that type of preparation, it's just like we talk about with Manning or Brady or any of these other guys who come in. They know the situation before it's going to happen. And he knew He knew it before it was going to happen.
Yeah, big-time baseball IQ. You remember what Lamonis told us last week about Tanner and Rowdy? He talked about how the one thing that I don't have to worry about is their love for the game, and they love to practice. And that really jumped out. You know, when the lights come on, it's easy to get going, right? But it's what we all, you know, and when we're watching the NFL and all of those theatrics and all the coolness of a Sunday, we forget what happens Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and all during the off season. You make a great point, and I thought Chris Lamonis really brought it home when he said, man, these guys love the game and love to play it and love to practice and play, and I do think that there is something to that. And there's still a dirtbag element here and a lot of other things, and then there's things that we can't really define and quantify, if you will. We're live from Ace Bolt and Screw. Their open house is today. They've got huge sales all day on select brands. Lunch provided by Cock of the Walk. We're at the downtown location, Julian Street. Their second location was in Tupelo, third in Atlanta, and then, of course, Gluckstadt, Madison County. They will open a fifth location in 2022 on Highway 49 South in the Richland location. And, of course, the leading fastener distributor in the Southeast, acebolt.net. We're live from Ace Bolt and Screw today for their open house. You're listening to Out of Bounds, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. We're streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app. And I see the text rolling in, Blake, and some people are digging this whole Tanner Allen, Chipper Jones country music band deal. And look,
what music? What would he be? Guitar? Would he be like bass, drums?
I think he's got to do both. No, he's not drums. He's out front.
He's guitar, sing, guitar
absolutely.
lead vocals. Yeah, I'm with you.
Absolutely, reminds me of about a 2008, 9, 10, country music singer. With the band, rolling through places like the Brandon Amphitheater and, like you said, the Floribama, putting on, a huge show, not thinking, having a big beer sponsor like, Coors Light made to chill. Tanner Allen and Chipper Jones on the back of a pickup truck. I mean, you could sell GMC Sierras or Rams or whatever.
Well, hopefully what we need to help orchestrate, and we'll have to get with our boy Duff, who hooked us up with Chipper Jones, which is still one of the coolest, interviews I think we've done.
No doubt.
Just to talk again, and I can't imagine how cool it was to just talk to Chipper Jones on the phone once as hey, we're going to do an interview, let alone be talking to him like Tanner
hey, what's
Allen
going
is.
on?
Yeah,
think about them talking over the winter and hunt, sharing hunting stories.
Well, and that's what I was about to say. We're gonna have to.
I've been out in New Mexico, hunting with Duff, and then we went to Kansas. Oh, really? And them going back. Where is Tanner from, Blake? Is it Alabama?
I believe that's correct. Somewhere, I don't know the exact city, but it is Alabama.
Hold on. So Tanner and Rowdy, I know Rowdy's from Auburn. Tanner and Rowdy are from the state of Alabama.
Yeah, and Jake Mangum was committed to Alabama. Think about that. He's from Theodore, Alabama.
Alabama.
I couldn't tell you where that is.
Am I supposed to know where that is?
No
I'm
clue.
trying to think.
No
I've
clue.
driven that state darn near top to bottom when I was in sales. Well, I'm still in sales, but in another sales job in another life. Theodore, Alabama. Somebody help me on the Mississippi Ag text line, 601-885-3776. Where is the outside of Mobile? Okay, well then I should know that.
There you go.
My dad was born in Mobile. We've had family down there, and of course all of us have driven through the Mobile area. In fact, I'll drive back through there today. Drove through there yesterday.
The Out of Bounds Show podcast is powered by Breezy Oaks Ranch. For Mississippi-raised premium Wagyu beef and heritage pork shipped straight to your door, visit breezyoaksranch.com.
Live from Ace Bolton Screw, Out of Bounds 105.9 The Zone. Blake Scott with me. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Mississippi State 6, Virginia 5 last night. Down for what felt like an eternity, I think, for MSU fans. The only thing I can tell you is when you're on the big stage, this is how it's going to be. There is no easy. LSU didn't win easy. Virginia, when they won the title, Vandy, whatever. It's all a grind. You're up to like 63, 64 games at this point or so. And you've got to embrace it. When you're on the big stage, every single pitch is going to be nerve-wracking. It's better than being at home. It's just like, being in the arena in life and business. Who in the hell wants to be on the outside looking in? So, they're in the arena. They're competing. Everybody here is good.
Yep.
And Virginia has won a natty just a few years ago. Mississippi State, Hunter Renfrow, Adam Frazier, John Cohen, Jonathan Holder, traveled up to Charlottesville, Virginia in 2013 to win the Super Regional. And, won. They won the first two games of that Super Regional and then advanced to Omaha that year. And Virginia's been good for some time. Brian O'Connor won it all in 2015. In fact, there's some rumors that LSU now has their sights set on Brian O'Connor, former Paul Maneri assistant at Notre Dame. Paul Maneri, of course, 15 years at LSU. Before that at Notre Dame. I don't think Brian O'Connor's leaving. Tony Vitello, we'll see. Tennessee was eliminated yesterday. Was Scott Woodward on the phone, with him last night? Are they going to be on, are they going to hook up this morning? Is he going to decline from the get-go? Is he going to listen and be wooed? And people like to be recruited and to flirt.
Thoughts on them
in
going
the business world? What?
Thoughts on them going 0-2? How that affects Vitello's mentality and this recruitment by LSU?
Well, I don't think it will have any impact on whether or not they want him, right? Because he did a great job. Even if you go 0-2 in Omaha, especially early, he did an amazing job for Tennessee and has done an amazing job, and he will continue to be a hot commodity. It's all going to be about, what Tennessee can show him they're going to do, and can Scott Woodward sell him on LSU and Baton Rouge. It's a great job. The problem is if you win a title, it's a ho-hum thing. And that's
you got to have 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's not special. I mean, if you win a natty, they're not going to get all, worked up over that. Skip Burtman has 5. You'll always be compared to him, and that is not going to change. Nick Saban's about the only guy I know in collegiate athletics that's been able to have a monster shadow of a man with 6 natties prior to him arriving at the University of Alabama, and Saban was able to match that. Brooks Bryan, who played on the 97-98 College World Series team for Mississippi State, just sent us a text. He said Tanner played at UMS Wright High School, committed to LSU, and switched when MSU hired Canizero. That feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it? So that's what happened with the T.A. Tanner Allen recruitment, and that's how he landed in Starkville, Mississippi. The Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by Ace Bolton Screw, and we are here for their open house today. Huge sales all day on select brands. We're live from the Julian Street downtown location. They also have one in Tupelo, Atlanta, and Gluckstadt, Madison County, with Highway 49 South in Richland coming in 2022. Hour number 2 coming up next.
Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
Is now awarded.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 1.9.
All set? Let's go.
The Zone.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome in to the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We are streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app, and we're streaming live on thezone1059.com. Several different ways that you can get in touch with us. The Farm Bureau Insurance call-in line, 601-995-1059. Twitter handle @BowBounds. And the text line, 601-885-3776, brought to you by Mississippi Ag and your next John Deere tractor at Mississippi Ag. Excited to be live from Ace Bolt and Screw today for 3 hours, as this is basically their big summer extravaganza party, if you will, where they're running a bunch of cool promotions. We've got a big-time giveaway that we're going to tell you about, and they're now celebrating 4 stores in over 50 years, family-owned and operated in Mississippi. We're live from Ace Bolt and Screw, and you can hit their website, acebolt.net. We're down on Julian Street in downtown Jackson. This was the first location. And then Tupelo, and then Atlanta, and then Gluckstadt, Madison County, and we may have some other news a little bit later on the show to tell you about. Wild night in Omaha, Nebraska for the Mississippi State Bulldogs as they get a monster win in an epic game over Virginia as, Tanner Allen and Kellum Clark with bombs after being shut out for over 7 innings. And Blake, it was a wild night, and UVA dominated most of the night. McGarry, their pitcher, was incredible. Took a no-hitter into the 7th inning. It ended his outing with 7 2/3, 2 runs allowed on 1 hit eventually. But he was great, and Mississippi State starter Christian McLeod struggled, but then they pieced it together throughout the evening to eventually get to Landon Sims, and the rest is history. MSU with a big, big win over Virginia last night, which advances them again in the winner's bracket, and they will play Friday against the winner of Virginia and Texas. But Tanner Allen, Kellum Clark, Josh Hatcher, Rowdy Jordan, among others, were stars last night, and the 3 seniors really, really stepped up, including Josh Hatcher, who hasn't played that much this year because he's been in a tough slump. But Rowdy produces, Hatcher produces, and then, of course, Tanner Allen with the bomb, and they were able to hang on 6-5 to beat the Virginia Cavaliers. Blake Mania, good morning.
Yeah,
What's up?
I was going to say how incredible a game. Obviously, had all of us at the edge of our seats, but you can't forget about Scotty DeBrule's single there, backside single with 2 outs to score what ended up being the difference in the game after the home run given up in the 8th inning for Virginia. So huge performances by all your guys there in the 8th inning after getting dominated by stuff that looked like top 10 pick stuff. I mean, 97 in movement, hammer breaking pitches. Just absolute dominance from Virginia for close to 8 innings, and then
what a performance, man!
Like you said,
by McGarry.
That's 2 straight games now that Mississippi State's been able to overcome what arguably have been dominant College World Series pitching performances from Ty Madden and now Griff McGarry last night.
But how about Kellum Clark? The guy who battled an illness early in the year. That's the reason why he got off to a slow start, lost a bunch of weight, didn't play the first, for the most part, 25 games? And all of a sudden, they can't get anything going on the bases. And his 2-run jack really sparked the whole comeback as they were down 4-0. And then they flipped it on Virginia to go up 6-4. Virginia hits a bomb to make it 6-5. Landon Sims shuts them down. And Mississippi State with 2 wins again in Omaha. They did this in 2018 and advanced to the winner's bracket. So we will see what shakes out, I guess, on Thursday between Virginia and Texas. Blake?
Yes, sir. It'll be Thursday at 6, Virginia and Texas will play. Tonight at 6, Vanderbilt and Stanford play for their losers bracket for the right to play NC State on Friday.
All right. So NC State and Mississippi State have not lost on opposite sides of the bracket, and MSU will face Virginia Texas winner on Friday. Out of bounds, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. We're live from Ace Bolt and Screw, their downtown location. They now have 4 locations. Downtown Jackson, which has been here for over 50 years. Tupelo was the second location. Atlanta, the third location. And Gluckstadt, Madison County is, I guess, the fourth location. Acebolt.net, the leading fastener distributor in the Southeast, and a great selection of tools. And, of course, they can help you commercial, construction, or industrial. Acebolt.net. Want to thank Mike and Randy Clark for hosting us once again. Got a lot of people here. They have several vendors, and they're going to basically throw a party and have a bunch of food and all kinds of good stuff today. So really cool trucks driving into the parking lot that are all logoed up with DeWalt's here, Milwaukee's here, and several others. So excited to see them again. We were not able to do this last year, but glad to be back at Ace Bolt and Screw, and we'll be here for the next 3 hours. We'll also tell you how you can register to win a Honda Foreman 500 four-wheeler.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's about 10 feet behind me, or 15. And buy $500 worth of the following products to qualify, and that would be DeWalt, Stanley, Lennox, Irwin, and Proto. And the drawing will be held during the Ace Bolt and Screw Open House, which is today. So, and you do not have to be present to win, but you obviously have to buy $500 worth of the following products to qualify. And it is a new Honda Foreman 500 four-wheeler, which is really good looking. I'll snap a picture of it during the break.
Nice.
So TJ comes in strong this morning on the Mississippi Ag text line, and he says the Virginia coach, who's Brian O'Connor, by the way, former pulmonary assistant. TJ said that Brian O'Connor, the Virginia coach, is a bonehead for pulling McGarry. Blake, you agree or disagree?
I mean, hindsight's 20/20. I think the more upsetting decision, because the guy they put in right away was good. I think the upsetting decision was who you went to face Tanner Allen, which was a soft throwing right-handed sidearm guy who throws down low, which for a left-hander usually is the easiest slot to pick up the ball from. So I mean, that decision I'm more upset with if I'm a Virginia fan than I am. Even though he's been your closer, he's been dealing with some arm issues. I think the decision to pull McGarry, I mean, he had been cruising. When you give up the walk and then the 2-run jack, usually that means you're out of gas at that point as the starter. So I don't really blame him for that. The guys they pulled in had been pitching well.
And McGarry wasn't used to going 100 pitches like 8 or 9 times this year because he struggled early.
Yeah,
and
he had
obviously
he had less than 40 He had less than 40 innings on the season.
Right,
that's nothing.
Right, 38 innings going into the game, and he had a magnificent effort against Dallas Baptist, and then he was great last night. Looked like a first rounder against Mississippi State, but Kellum Clark, Tanner Allen, Rowdy, Josh Hatcher, as Blake mentioned, Scotty DeBrule continues to find a way to make things happen at the plate. And then their mid-relief and relief for Hail State held Virginia to 4 runs forever after McLeod was dusted up pretty good. All right, we're live from Ace Bolt and Screw. You're listening to the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We're streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app, and the show is presented by Ace Bolt and Screw. Visit acebolt.net. New location is in Gluckstadt, Madison County, but we are live from the downtown location today. Back in a second.
Bulls.org.
All right, good morning, good morning. Welcome in. ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Number one sports talk radio station in the state of Mississippi, WRKS 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. We're streaming live on thezone1059.com and the Out of Bounds radio app. I want to welcome you in. Thanks for making us your sports and entertainment show of choice in the great state of Mississippi. Thanks for hitting the podcast. We took another jump yesterday, so we're up 54% on the podcast as far as digital, crushing Apple Podcasts. Thank you for going back and listening to the show. Go to Apple Podcasts, search the Out of Bounds Show. If you miss a segment or an interview or us messing with Blake, the Blakey Blakester. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. We're live from Ace Bolton Screw, downtown Jackson, Julian Street. And we'll be here the next 3 hours. Want to thank Randy and Mike Clark and their team for hosting us once again here at Ace Bolton Screw. And you can go to acebolt.net. They opened a new retail location last year in Gluckstadt, Madison County. Obviously, they've had the downtown location for over 50 years. Then Tupelo, then Atlanta, Gluckstadt, Madison County, Ace, Bolt, and Screw. And today's the last day to enter to win this Honda Foreman 500 four-wheeler. Buy $500 worth of the following products to qualify. This is it. By end of business day today. And that would be DeWalt, Stanley, Lennox, Irwin, and Proto. Drawing will be held a little bit later in the day. And I just took a picture of the four-wheeler, posted that on Facebook, and we'll push it out on the Twitters and other social media platforms. I've got Blake Mania with me. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Mississippi State with the monster win last night, 6-4 over Virginia. The fireworks started late, and it was Kellum Clark, Scotty DeBrule, Tanner Allen, Rowdy Jordan, Josh Hatcher, and they made the magic happen. Also, you got to give a lot of credit to all the pitchers from Preston Johnson on, really, that allowed Mississippi State to hang in the game, keep it at 4-0 for so long. They used a ton of dudes and eventually got to Landon Sims, and he shut the door on the Virginia Cavaliers. And this group continues to pull, this mojo and this magic late in games. When either they're down or just up, they find a way to make plays. And eventually McGarry from UVA made a mistake. Kellum Clark made him pay. That's a name you're going to need to get familiar with. He's a young dude again. Yes. I think he dropped 20, maybe close to 30 pounds earlier in the year as he was sick. And they were thinking that he would play a lot more, and he really wasn't in the lineup, I think, the first 25, 30 games. He's DH'd a good bit down the stretch, showed you some pop in his bat. He's going to be a hell of a player going forward. Big part of the deal next year, but they're focused on the next week as far as trying to win one more game to get to the National Championship Series. As Blake was talking about earlier, they need to win one more game. Thank you. To advance to the National Championship Series. So now Virginia and Texas will play Thursday, and the winner will play Mississippi State on Friday. They'll have to beat MSU twice. This is Tanner Allen after the game, after the heroics of both T.A., who was 0 for 7, I think, going into that at-bat before his bomb. And this is T.A. after the game talking about not only his heroics, but his teammates.
3-run bomb from Tanner Allen. 2 home runs in the 8th inning. A 2-run shot. Kellum Clark, and then a 3-run home run for Tanner Allen. What a feeling it must be for him. He is our Capital One player of the game, and he's with Chris.
Well, Tanner, we talked about the no panic that this team has. You go hitless through 7 innings, the floodgates finally open. How'd you guys do it?
We just believe in each other. It's a hard game, man. This game will bring it to your knees so fast, but we just stick with it and keep playing and get things happen.
They bring in Steven Schock. What were you looking for off that guy?
Well, I knew they had a base open, and I knew he wouldn't throw me a fastball. Let's just put it like that. So I kind of just sat on the slider and thank the Lord he hung one. He was able to put a good swing on it.
You and your best friend Rowdy have been here 2 other times. You're now 2-0 in this series. What has it felt like this go around?
This win right here is really big. We're middle of the game. We're like, man, this is going to be a punch if we take a L right here. But, then we were meeting in the outfit when a pitching change said, hey, we're not out of this game. We always come back. We're used to this. So let's just keep playing. And how about the big swing with Rowdy right there in the gap? So he got us started.
What can you say about the way that your closer, Landon Sims?
That guy gives everything he's got every time he goes to the mound. I'm looking, it's like the 7th or 8th inning before he comes in. I keep looking back in the pen. I'm like, where's Landon at? He's got to be getting hot somewhere. So, yeah, man, that guy's unbelievable. He's an unbelievable competitor.
How's the shoulder?
Whew, it's sore. But, hey, get a couple days rested now. So he'll be all right.
Go get some ice. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Hell State.
Oh, man. So that is Chipper Jones' son, Tanner Allen, SEC baseball. He's the SEC Player of the Year and has been a great hitter for MSU. And that was Tanner weighing in on all the theatrics from last night as Mississippi State was dominated for almost 8 innings, and then they come back and win. Down 4-0, Blake. And they flip it to
incredible.
It really is. They flip it to 6-4, win 6-5. They don't play again until Friday, and whoever wins has to beat them twice. North Carolina State and Mississippi State are both in the winners bracket on opposite sides of the bracket. MSU will play at 6 o'clock on Friday, and that will be on ESPN. And the Longhorns and the Cavaliers will play at 6 p.m. on Thursday on the Deuce at 6 o'clock. So that's tomorrow. So we've got teams that have been eliminated and have already headed home. And some of them I think that you may be surprised. And then we've got some that are scratching and clawing and going to try to fight their way out of the losers bracket. We are live from Ace Bolt and Screw today for their open house. And they have huge sales all day on select brands, and lunch will be provided by Cock of the Walk. And, of course, we're the Out of Bounds Show on 105.9 The Zone ESPN. And tools and accessories and the leading fastener distributor in the Southeast, Ace Bolt and Screw. AceBolt.net, over 50 years in business in the state of Mississippi, and now Atlanta, Georgia. Blake Scott, Bo Bounds with you. We're efforting a couple of guests a little bit later in the show, and we think that will line up to recap the evening. It's tough to put your finger on why this keeps happening, Blake.
Truly remarkable. And I was going to ask you, look, we've seen some, incredible heroics from different moments from different players over the last 4 or 5 years. But when you look at the McNamee home runs in 18, when you look at the Father Burke Masters home run grand slam in the 90s, like where this now kind of 1-2 punch of Kellum Clark and then to Tanner Allen, and for Tanner to do it 0 for 7 in 2 games and to get his first hit like that, where do you put this moment in the Mississippi State postseason lore?
Number 1 or tied for first, just with everything on the line to advance in Omaha. Here's what we talked about, Blake. You have to win games in Omaha to be a big-time program. You can talk about all the other ancillary things, and those are great. You have to get W's. I think your question was better, though, earlier, Blake, is can you believe that they pitched to Tanner Allen?
Yeah, with a soft righty who is struggling with his arm. It's truly the question that's going to be asked of Brian O'Connor if they lose in this World Series.
Yeah, I thought you framed it up well, and it's really simple. I'd like to hear from our listeners on the Mississippi Ag text line, 601-885-3776. Can you believe that they pitched to Tanner Allen with a righty coming sidearm who hung a slider in that moment in the game? 601-885-3776. We are live from Ace Bolt and Screw for the open house today, downtown Jackson.
Only.
I absolutely love my dog, but the constant shedding, not so much. But then I got a Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit, and it is amazing. These super thick cloths pick up a crazy amount of hair. Just look at all that. And that was from just one swipe. And the best part? Sweeper's so much easier to maneuver than a broom or a vacuum, easily getting around chairs and under the couch. You're right. Now I can focus on you, not your shedding. Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit, because shed happens.
You're ready to get out and get moving. And whether it's surfing, playing tennis, or hiking every path you can find, you're going to need some essential new gear. Essentials that are even more rewarding with the Bank of America customized cash rewards credit card. You can choose to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Visit bankofamerica.com/more rewarding and apply now. The essentials have never felt more rewarding. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.